Long, long ago, there lived the Emperor Yao. He was known to everyone in the land as truly noble. He was attentive, bright, cultured, graceful, and he was all these things without effort. He was also sincere, able, and his reputation lit up the four corners of the world, reaching from heaven itself down to earth. In him were combined all that was best from his ancestors and all that will be best of the generations to come. As a result, he was enlightened and virtuous, and so he was able to make sure that the whole world lived in balance and harmony. This meant everyone lived in a state of enlightenment, and even the surrounding states and tribes lived peacefully. To make sure that the people would know the passage of the seasons in their proper order, he commanded 2 officials, Xi and He, to study and compile information concerning the vastness of heaven and the movements of the sun, moon, and stars, so that the calendar could be properly organized. From this, he commanded one of the younger brothers to go to the Yang Valley of the sunrise and reverently observe the rising of the sun in the east. This was so he could determine when the spring equinox would take place, and by observing the stars, he could know when the day and night were of equal length. This meant the people would know when it was time to return to work in the fields, and they could see this was also when the birds and animals started to mate. On top of this, he commanded another brother to go south and to stay there to note the summer solstice and its stars, which would tell the people when the day is the longest, and they could then know to hurry up with their labors. This is also the time when the birds and animals start to molt. Another brother was commanded to go to the west, to the place known as the Yin Valley, and there to note the autumn equinox. Observing the stars, he could then calculate when the days were of equal length. This meant the people could know it was the season for resting, and that the birds and animals were at their healthiest. Finally, he commanded his 4th brother to go north, to the place known as the Dismal City, to study the winter and the stars in order to know when the winter solstice falls. This is a time when the people stay warm indoors, while the birds and animals have their winter coats and hibernate. From all this, the emperor was then able to say, "Let me explain that the year has 366 days, and by adding an additional month, we can balance the seasons. Knowing this, we can appoint the appropriate officials and all will be well." Then the emperor added, "But can anyone find me a man who can understand all the 4 seasons, who can work with me and be the judge of what is good?" "What about your heir, the crown prince? He seems very bright," one of his ministers answered. "Sadly, thinking he will be the heir, he has become a troublemaker. So that proposal is not realistic." The emperor replied, "What I need is a wise minister. Can anyone find one for me?" "Well, there is the Minister of Labor, who seems pretty competent," another minister answered. In reply, the emperor said, "Sadly, he says one thing in public and another thing in private. In public he seems to be very respectful and humble, but his vanity rises like a flood to the very gates of heaven. Oh, by all that is holy, the ceaseless floods and the vast waters are destroying everything that is good and right. The dark waters have overwhelmed the hills and mountains. They have raged right up to heaven itself, while the people below, why, they are in despair. Is there anyone who can help?" All his ministers replied, "Well, what about Guan?" To which the emperor retorted, "Good grief, no. That man is a rebel who goes against whatever is right and refuses to be disciplined." "But why not at least give him a try?" implored the ministers.